and they somehow got a cow onto the second floor. They had to get a crane to get the cow down.
Was it during school hours? That would be like the event.
So.
Just like in math class, Jill, and you see a cow going by out the window.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Spencer Whiteout podcast. Rated R.
Guess like we're avoiding the shark. Call it leather fetish.
No, today Turbo Neck Day.
I'll give you a kiss. You give me your number.
That checked out a ton, dude. Tell me you felt.
We're Americans. We're the ones that are descendants from the 1776 musket-bearing motherfuckers.
Welcome back to the Spencer Whiteout podcast. This is episode number 35. In this episode, we tell our most mayhemic pranks, work antics, strange characters we've met, and lots of shoes. Let's dive in. Or are we like
How do we
good
signal
to go?
to the bathroom?
The kid from
Fingers crossed.
the kid from Back to the Future. Do you remember the?
No, he
Oh yeah, he points at his crotch. In
right.
Back to the Future 3, the little kid points to his crotchal region.
Yeah, and it made it in.
Yeah, it did.
You are sick.
Welcome back to the Spencer Whiteout podcast. Today I have on the Dawsons. Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Okay, I'm Tiffany Dawson.
I'm Tommy Dawson.
I'm Jimmy Dawson.
And who are you guys?
I'm
We're the
Spencer's
Dawsons.
sister.
Oh,
And Jimmy married into the family.
yeah, I am Bill.
Bill, brother-in-law. And
Yeah.
then Tommy Dawson is Jimmy's brother.
Yep.
Tiffany, go ahead and start us off with
Megan.
Okay. So this was a little while ago. I was taking William, my son, for a walk, and he was in the stroller. And we had just left the complex, and I had just crossed the street, and I was walking on the sidewalk, and this car comes to a slow near me, and then
to a slow.
this guy's voice just yells out, "Megan!" And I'm like, I didn't turn at first. I was like, okay, and then I just kept going, and then he's like, "Megan!" even louder. So I turned, and then he yells even more emphatically, "Are you Megan?"
What?
Like pointing at me. And I'm like, no. And then his tone totally changes. He's like,
Oh, I thought you were my friend Megan.
and then he's just like,
Okay.
and then he keeps going. And then I'm like, what? How do you confuse
I
me?
have a child.
I have a baby in his stroller.
Does Megan have a
long
child?
brown curly hair. Apparently he has a friend named Megan who looks exactly like me.
Wow.
I don't know. I just love that story. Megan, are you Megan?
It was really startling. I was like, no, I am not Megan.
You would think that by the first or second time you ignored him, you were not Megan.
Yeah.
I still think it's crazy that he committed that many
Yeah, I know,
times.
he-
Like,
yeah,
I
he committed to it
turned
hard,
around
yeah.
facing him, and then he still is questioning, "Are
Yeah.
you Megan?"
He
He must not know his friend very well.
yeah.
Megan.
All right, so I've got another story about going for walks with William. Interesting things that happened. And we were going near the park, and we were passing by some people that also live in our complex. And it's like this older gentleman. And a lot of people say hi to me because William is so cute. And so we
a
get
gift and
up
a
close
curse.
to him. Yeah. And he goes, "Oh, look at this little guy," you know, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, say hi, buddy." And then he looks up at me and very genuinely says, "Would you like to trade your baby for my dog?" And I'm like, just shocked. I don't know what the first thing that came out of my head was, not today.
Maybe
Just
tomorrow.
like quickly kind of shuffle away. And then he goes, "Oh, okay, well, how about in 2 or 3 days?"
He pushed
No,
the issue.
and I just keep
Still
going. I'm
no.
like, yeah, but then the whole rest
As you
of the
run
day,
away with the stroller.
the whole rest of the day, I was just like, what kind of response was that? Why did I say not today? It's like, no,
just
not
taken
ever.
aback.
There was no response that I could say to that question.
Yeah, people just have
Yeah.
weird senses of humor.
Yeah, it was not funny to me. And I was like, I don't know.
Is that a spider?
No.
What is that?
yeah, it's a spider.
Oh, can we get
It's
rid of
dead.
that?
It's dead.
Oh my
Dead.
gosh.
I killed it with the cord.
Wait.
Oh, you
not
killed
Get
dead.
rid
it?
of it somehow.
It's definitely
It's
not
still
dead,
moving.
No, it's not
It's
dead.
the fan. The
No,
fan's
that's a
making
spider.
it move.
He's definitely dead now.
Get it off.
How about this?
Don't-
Pay
don't-
attention.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
No. It's a spider?
It's just a little baby.
Onto your carpet?
Barely. No, it's on me.
It's just a
You think
little-
it's not a big deal, and then
very
it gets on
minuscule.
you.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on.
The prank section.
Tommy, we got a story about baby formula.
Yes. So When I was in my senior year of college, we had this final project, whatever, it was a choose your own adventure. And I saw a listing on our class profile saying like, hey, we're going to do a hardware hacking project. And I'm like, that sounds really cool. And I knew all the students, they were all really smart. So I was like, hey, I want to work with these people. And so we were doing this like device that was basically like a Swiss Army knife for hacking. And I thought it'd be a good idea to just like buy one and start playing with it and see what I could do with it. You know, like loudspeakers at CVS and like Home Depot, they'll say like, oh, customer assistance needed, the electrical
Aisle 4.
aisle. Yeah, aisle 4. And I saw like,
Babe on aisle 2.
I saw a bunch of scripts for it.
on aisle 2.
Is that what you said?
Just to like let your other coworkers know.
No,
Yeah.
these are pre-scripted. So they're all recorded on a frequency. And so somebody had recorded all the frequencies of every single option for like the customer assistance and like uploaded them on a script. And my friend was like, there's no way that works. And I'm like, hey man, you never know until you try it. So I was like, well, I'm going to try this because we're writing a report on it and it's just harmless. So might as well try it. And so I go into a in downtown Chicago with one of my classmates. And he's a very quiet dude. Like this guy doesn't really show a lot of emotion. As soon as we walked in, not without even like, you know, waiting to settle in, I just immediately clicked the button.
Customer assistance needed on baby formula aisle.
It goes off on the loudspeaker and I'm starting to giggle. He's giggling already. So the fact that he doesn't laugh normally is making me laugh even harder because I'm like, dude, he's laughing. Like, what is going on? And then all the employees in the store are like, what is going on? We don't have baby formula at this store. And so I'm just like, no way, dude. I selected something they don't even have in the store and just push it because I had it in my pocket. So I clicked it in my pocket so they didn't, you know, look less suspicious.
Wait, so this is some sort of like device?
Yeah, it's a hacking
I
tool.
still have the device. I was using it for a project, but now I just use
And
it
it
for
just hacks into
personal
wherever
use.
you are?
No. So
Could you make it say anything you wanted?
No,
it's whatever
unfortunately
they-
not.
yeah.
They're pre-recorded frequencies.
You didn't know
so
what it
like,
actually-
I
each
didn't
one
know if it
said,
would
you
work.
just-
No, it does say what it said,
Oh,
and
it
I
does say.
selected that one specifically
okay.
because I thought it was weird. And I was like, if I'm gonna make it say anything, I'm gonna make it say something weird. And he's like, dude, they don't know what's going on. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we need to get out of here. And I was like, hey, lesson learned, guys. You know, you don't know if it doesn't work until you try it. And
That's the lesson you learned from that.
I mean, why not? And then one of the other pranks that we were doing, and this one kid in the library left his computer unattended in a school with a bunch of cybersecurity students. Like that's a terrible idea.
Yeah, the school known for cybersecurity.
Yeah, he had like one of those cheap USB mice that you plug the USB in and you just use the mouse on a laptop. And he thought it'd be funny if he walked over to the computer and plugged in his mouse jack and then walked back, and we were sitting in tables away, and the kid comes back and he starts moving the mouse. And the kid's like, what is going on with my mouse? And then he starts pushing the back button, and the guy was writing an essay. So he would write like a sentence, and then he would push the back button, and then it would go back to the previous Google page. And he was like, no, I lost all my work. And so we did that for like an hour, and he never caught on. And
Did
so,
it actually lose his work?
Not very much.
Yes.
Did you guys actually see what you were doing, or did you
Yeah,
just...
we could see it. That's how close we were. And so
You could see the whites of his
Well,
eyes.
like, and some people that were sitting at the table were like laughing too, and we were like, dude, guys, we got to be a little more subtle about this. But
Yeah.
he did it for like an hour, and the kid finally got angry and left, and like left his
quit.
computer. Yeah, he rage quit, but I don't know why he
Rage
didn't do
quit.
that.
Left his computer?
Yeah, they did it for a little bit too long. I will admit that was a little too long. But
Wait, but what do you mean he left his computer?
he got up.
It
in
wasn't
frustration.
his computer.
It was a school computer.
Yeah, it's a library.
So like library computer. He logs
computer.
in. He's doing
Okay.
work.
Okay.
I
This
thought he
makes
just
way
he
more
just
sense.
quit
Yeah.
his whole
No,
computer.
no.
He
Yeah.
just left it.
Yeah,
He was
it's
like,
like-
I quit. I quit
Rule-
cybersecurity.
There was an
Rule number
hour.
one.
Quit
You gotta
school.
weed these people out.
Wow, that's good. I mean, prank-wise.
Jimmy, not a rubber snake.
Okay, this is not a prank I pulled, but was pulled on me. So I had not a roommate, a hallmate, I guess, who was a very much an outdoors kind of guy. Like went hiking like every other weekend or every weekend. I don't remember. But anyway, so I was just like sitting on my couch one day and playing video games or something. I don't know, maybe doing homework, probably not doing homework. And then my roommate comes in and just drops this thing on my lap. And I look down, I thought it was a rubber snake. I'm like, oh, that's very hilarious, Isaac. And then it starts moving.
Oh my
I thought it was a rubber snake. It was definitely not a rubber snake.
So it was a real snake?
It was a real snake. And I'm not normally afraid of snakes, but that kind of freaked me out when I was like,
Yeah, when it's
this
laying
is-
on your crotch.
There's a
obviously,
live
you gotta
snake
have
laying
a
on my
little
lap.
urgency.
I didn't
Yeah.
think he would just drop a real live snake on my lap, but He did, and I kind of threw it. I mean, not
At
hard.
him? Did you throw it
Not
at
at him. I just
No
kind of,
snakes were
it was just
harmed.
kind of like a toss. It was like, wow, what the heck?
What kind of snake was it?
I don't know, probably like a little garden snake. It wasn't that
It
big.
wasn't a king snake.
No, it wasn't that big.
No, it was a rattlesnake.
Matt Walker actually has a king snake, which is crazy.
How big are king snakes?
I don't know. They're huge though.
Oh,
King of all snakes.
He is the king of all snakes.
He is.
Yeah, he is. He's the king snake. Okay, so high school pranks, right?
yeah. Most of these were like senior pranks. I don't even know if people are allowed to do senior pranks anymore because then if people
They
got
were
expelled.
never
It's not a
allowed.
matter of
Yeah,
being
I guess not
allowed.
allowed.
It's just a matter of if
Allowed,
you get
but
caught.
The first one, so like the swim team or something, like they put a bunch of goldfish in our school pool.
See, that's terrible because then
Well, yeah,
It's
chlorine.
chlorinated.
Yeah, it's chlorinated pool.
But high schoolers don't know that.
so then it's a pool full
Or they just don't
of
care.
dead fish.
goldfish.
yeah, you just get a
That's
pool
gross.
full of dead
That's
fish.
gnarly.
Oh.
But yeah, so yeah,
So that
that's-
happened.
So that happened. This one, we had this long hallway that was cement and it was covered with like a little roof. And when it rained, it was terrible because it would get flooded. So the seniors that year, they cemented a toilet into the middle of the hallway.
Wow.
I don't know
That's
why.
dedication.
That's
So then there would be
Plastered
some
to the
real
wall.
flooding
Yeah, there was
after that.
I mean, nobody used it after that.
That
Obviously,
you know
so-
of.
Yeah, that I know of. It's like, that'd
Yeah.
be pretty ballsy to be like, oh, there's a toilet here. Perfect. I just needed this.
Yeah.
No, that was probably removed pretty quickly.
Oh.
But dude, Tommy, Kyle's school, you told me some like insane.
Which Kyle?
Your friend Kyle, not my friend Kyle.
Oh,
It's not my friend.
It was insane. Like, didn't teachers quit from this?
Oh, wait a minute.
You know what I'm talking about?
The only thing that I briefly remember was at all boys high school.
Yeah.
There was every year
Yeah.
the seniors would come to school and just vandalize
Yeah.
everything, like break all the windows. They'd put like
That is not a prank.
No.
That's
it was just
terrible.
vandalism.
Yeah, it was just vandalism.
No
And
way.
it would get out of hand and people would get expelled. It was just out
That's
of
just
control.
nasty,
Yeah,
but-
it was there wasn't much to it. It wasn't really creative. It was just kind of
No,
like
just how can
just
we?
Vandalism.
chaos.
Yeah, just chaos.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, and there was another one that for the senior prank. How they had access to a cow, I don't know. There was elevators, but they didn't work. There were stairs that went to the second floor, and they somehow got a cow onto the second floor. And I guess cows can't go downstairs; they can only go upstairs.
Oh yeah.
Kind of like William right now.
Like my son.
Yeah, you can't go downstairs. But yeah, they got a cow on the second story. They had to get a crane to get the cow down.
Was it during school hours? That would be like the
I think
event
so.
of the
I
year.
think you could.
Watching your
I just
dog.
like in math class, chilling. You
Like-
see a cow going by
You
on the window.
could smell the cow, like because I mean, you know, it's a cow. It smells.
Now we're going to get into some work stories. Okay, so this one is called Bailey's Bat Mitzvah. So I
is
was
so
working at Dave & Buster's and I was on bus tubs. So I was pushing this cart around the restaurant, collecting all this tubs of dirty dishes and stuff. And I'm coming up to like the showroom and there's like an event going on in there, but obviously I need to clear it out because like, you know, there's going to be excess dishes and dirty stuff in there. It's busy. So I'm like going fast and I'm working up a sweat, you know, and I'm pushing this cart and I go up and then I see this girl like standing outside the corner of the event room and she's like in this nice dress and she's like probably like a middle school age or something. I don't know. But I was just kind of like, that's weird. Why is she just standing out here alone? And I was like, well, whatever. It's busy. I got to keep going. So I fling open the doors. The announcer says, and now would you all put your hands together and welcome Bailey? And all the parents are there and everyone's taking photos and clapping. And I'm there with my big trash cart. And I'm like, and I look to my side and this Bailey girl is standing there for her bat mitzvah. And she's like, do I come in now? I don't know.
Wasn't there like a big screen or
Yeah,
sign
there was
or
a big
something?
screen. On the screen it said Bailey, you know, Bailey's bat mitzvah. And then one of the managers was in there and he's like looking at me, he's like, go. And he's like, get out of here.
Bailey just
'Cause
peeks out behind you.
I know, because I just happened to show up right as they were announcing her little event.
You ruined your entrance.
Yeah, I ruined your entrance, and I'm in all those family photos, you know, just with me and my big trash cart. You know?
taken a picture.
And so I was like, turn the whole cart around to like get out and make my
making your
escape.
three-point-
I'm like peeling tires. I'm like,
I just gotta lean into it.
I just imagine Spencer making a 3-point turn with a trash cart, and they're like,
Yeah.
Back it up.
It was the worst timing ever. That was an embarrassing moment. Another moment that happened at Dave & Buster's was passing out wings, right? So I go up to this table and I'm like, all right, here's your buffalo wings. And then I'm like, and we got a Jamaican jerk right here. And it happened to be an African-American woman. And she's like, oh, what you call me? And I was like, your wings are flavored Jamaican jerk, right? And she's like, oh yeah.
Was she serious or like?
Yeah, she actually thought I was calling her Jamaican jerk, but I'm like, no, I'm just announcing the wings that you got. Like, I don't know. Are you from Jamaica? I have no idea. But
Yeah.
That's really unfortunate.
It was Jamaican
Oh
mod. Next. So I've got a story. This is when I worked at BJ's. This one's called
Salad Hands.
And it's very similar to Luke Reed's story about that lady just chomping away with her bare hands on balsamic salad. And then she used the door handle and she didn't wipe it. It was bad. Luke had to touch it afterwards. It was... Yeah, it was a traumatic experience for Luke. So anyway, so I had a similar experience. I go to deliver Caesar salad to this guy and I drop it off and I'm like, let me get you utensils because they didn't have those yet. And he's like, all right. I go walk to the other side of the restaurant, grab utensils, and as I walk back, by the time I get back, he's already chowing down with his bare hands. He's eating the salad.
Animal.
I know, dude. He was like pretty much just picking at it and just like eating it. And I was like, oh, I guess you don't need these, you know? And another one, when I was working at BJ's, I was working and I had a coworker next to me, and this person I was kind of training, and she seemed to be getting the hang of things, and everything seemed friendly and normal, and I worked with her for like, I don't know, 4 hours or something, and then all of a sudden, she like sees someone across the cook line like laughing, and then she's like,
Is something funny?
and they're like, no, what? No. And she's like,
What are you saying about me?
you know, and they're like, nothing. None of your business, you know?
You think something's funny?
And she gets all aggressive, all offended. And 10 minutes later, she like walks out, she comes back, and then she comes up to me and she's like, I think I'm going to leave and never come back.
What?
Whoa.
She wasn't.
And I
even
was
being
like,
laughed
are you
at.
going to
So
finish your
dramatic.
shift? And she's like, no, it was nice knowing you. Bye. And she
It's
rage
nice
quits.
knowing you?
She
She
rage
quit
quit.
and
She
she-
literally said that it was nice
What?
knowing you. And I only knew her for 4 hours. I was like, all right.
And you
yeah,
weren't even
nice.
laughing at her.
Bye. Yeah, it wasn't me. She had a beef with someone else.
Man,
Really?
extreme
For 4 hours?
I don't
sensitive.
think they were laughing at her. It was crazy.
Wow.
Unfortunate.
Okay, another story from BJ's. This one's called Fat Guy. Not to be confused with Fat Naked Guy, which I'll tell next. But this one's called Fat Guy. So I go up and I deliver food to this guy. And I go, who got the chowder bowl? And this guy points up in the air and goes, Fat Guy.
Whoa.
He calls himself out as the fat guy. And I was like,
self-proclaims.
okay. Yeah, he self-proclaimed
At least he's
fat
proud.
guy. But yeah, that was Fat Guy. And then first job at KFC, there's a story called Fat Naked Guy. So my manager, Antoine, this is my first job way back when I was like 17. He told me, oh yeah, there's this fat guy that comes through in the drive-thru. He always just comes through in his underwear. And so we call him Fat Naked Guy. He's a reoccurring customer.
Oh,
And
and
so-
never clothed.
Never clothed, just minimal. Okay?
Minimal.
And I'm working up front, and this other guy comes in and orders, and I tell him, okay, it's going to be about 20 minutes for your chicken. And he loses his temper. He's like, what? 20 minutes? And he throws his drink at the shelf. And that was when all the fresh chicken had just come up. So it soaks all the chicken that had just come up. So now we have to re-cook chicken. This guy that's mad rage quits. He leaves the store, and then Fat Naked Guy is in the drive-thru, and this guy's waiting. And when there was people in the drive-thru, we had to tell them, "Hey, pull around front. We'll bring out your food to you when it's ready." You know. And so we have multiple orders going, and it's like we're already way behind because the guy soaked the chicken, and so we're writing on the receipts which order is which. And so someone wrote on the receipt "Fat Naked Guy," and we didn't intend to put the receipt on the bag.
Oh, man.
But they made the big mistake of putting the receipt on the bag. And so I got the bags and I'm taking it out to this guy's car and I go, oh, sorry about your wait. I mean, the wait. I did say that to a customer. I
The
said,
correction
yeah, I said, sorry
almost
about
makes it worse.
Yeah. Gave him the wrong receipt. He freaks out and he's like, I'm not fat. That was the thing that,
was the
he
thing,
got upset about, that he wasn't fat.
I mean,
he didn't dispute the fact that he was naked or close to naked. He was just like, I'm not fat.
I've got underwear
Like,
on.
no,
I'm
you
not
are.
naked.
Yes, you're a fat naked guy, and everybody here knows you as that. So, you know. So a couple more anecdotes from KFC. We were always understaffed, you know, and understocked, understaffed. late on everything, and people would always be like, oh, do you have honey? When we're out, it's like, no, but we'd be like, no, but we have honey mustard, as if that's a comparable at all.
No.
It's like saying, do you have pepper? No, sorry, but we do have Dr. Pepper. It's like, it's literally the same thing, you know? But I remember one time I saw an owl fly into the KFC bucket. That was like the highlight of working there. You know, like there's a giant bucket up in the sky on a pole or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember an owl flew into there, and I was like, wow, that's cool. It's like good luck or something.
Poor owl.
One time we had a Halloween party there, and so we set up a piñata over the drive-thru. You know how it has like a clearance bar?
Yeah.
So we set up a piñata over the clearance bar, and people are taking turns swinging at it, and Carissa misses the piñata because they had spun her around blindfolded, misses the piñata and swings the plastic baseball bat and breaks it over Travis's head. Wow. And it completely dampened the night. Like the whole night was ruined. Everyone was like, okay. And
What was
we just
Travis
kind
doing in the way?
That was a crazy Halloween party. So
Wow.
Watch out for Carissa.
yeah. Jimmy, you had a story from work.
Yeah, so I had one coworker who no longer is with us. Literally, I mean, he's still alive. He just doesn't work with us. But we during our work breaks, we'd go and play hacky sack in the park because we had a really nice park outside.
Is this the guy that would only watch movie trailers and act like he saw the
that
movies?
was
That was so weird.
Yeah, that guy was older and he was an old bachelor guy. This was a younger guy. Yeah, so we'd go play hacky sack in the park, and it was the park. There's trees everywhere, and they're really nice big trees. And one time he got the hacky sack stuck up in the tree. And so instead of just replacing the hacky sack, he's like, oh, I'll just knock down the hacky sack with my shoe. So he took off his shoe and threw it up to try and hit his hacky sack down. And then he got his shoes stuck him at the tree.
So then he tried to
So
get
then
the
he
next
tried to get
shoe
his
off.
first shoe off with his second shoe. And then he got his second shoe stuck up in the tree.
Oh my god.
So we had to go walk back, and he was down 2 shoes and a hacky sack. And he had to walk back barefoot.
The walk of shame.
Yeah, walk of shame.
So we got another shoe story. This one's
Yeah.
from Tommy.
So I lived in this like really small apartment building that had like maybe 9 tenants or so. And this one guy above me, I had him in my phone as Shoe Guy from 3B. And I think he saw it on my phone one time, and I kind of felt guilty about it.
How did he see it on your phone?
Because I would talk to him every once in a while, and one time I was showing him something on my phone, and his name was on my texts. Anyways, the way I met this guy was he was going door to door because he had apparently lost $1,000 worth of shoes.
What?
And so
was it like one really expensive pair of shoes?
No, it was like 6 pairs.
How do you just lose that many shoes?
Let me tell you. This guy, I come to know him pretty well. He was a really nice guy, but he did some sketchy things for some money. And he had like $30,000 worth of computer bots. And it was like a programs that would do automated things for him. The shoe companies in Chicago, one of their things that they do is they try to make all these authentication systems to prevent people from buying a bunch of like limited drop shoes so people wouldn't scalp them. But he had these super expensive bots that would make like hundreds of accounts and spam them so he could get all these limited drops of shoes. And so he would get all these drops of shoes and then get all the shoes and sell them for a lot more money. And he was making like a good profit on this. He came to later to explain to me that he would go to the store. He printed like several fake school IDs, and then he would have several different outfits and several different accents that he would use. And he would go in, buy the shoe, leave, and then change outfit, change his accent and stuff, and go back in and buy it again. And he'd do it like several times. But he was making like
This guy's like an assassin.
He was making so much money he could pay for his school with it.
Wow.
It was kind of crazy because I saw him do it once, and it was very surreal to see him try to do this. And I was like, this is so strange. Your accent is horrible. How is this working? That's Alex, or Shoe Guy from 3B.
Shoe Guy from 3B.
Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a review. 5 stars is a power play. Be sure to follow me on social medias at Spencer Whiteout to stay up to date. As always, stay tuned, stay hyped. That's a wrap.
Inserting exclusive audio recording from the vault.
I've got a text conversation to pull up here.
And how did you pick it up? Do you guys have a bigger car or?
We have a Ford Escape.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty
Decent size.
We were just chatting about the set design and stuff, and we're figuring out what we need. And Spencer was like, "Oh, we're gonna need a chair," and went on Craigslist and looked up dental chair and then like medical chair, and then that was like one of the only ones that was actually applicable that came up.
It's gotta be some weird results.
He had his phone number on there, and it said his name is Neil. So I texted him and asked if it was still available. Oh, he had it listed for 75, and I said, what did you take? 65. I can pick it up tomorrow or Saturday. I'll just like read you guys the conversation. Yeah. Also, it's like major run-on sentences and weird punctuation.
Okay.
So he's like, where are you coming from in Costa Mesa? I said, I live in Orange. What are you going to use it for if it's okay to ask? Like, why does he need to know that? And I'm like, it's for a movie set. Do you go to Chapman College? No. He said, okay, tomorrow before noon would be best. It's real for a hospital in Anaheim. And I was like, okay, great. Would you take 65? And then he said, I really want 75, but can you get to Costa Mesa by noon tomorrow? If you can do, then I can reduce to 65.
Okay.
Sure.
He said, it's pretty cool. It lowers to completely flat and back up to any chair tilt controlled by a cable brake handle. It's like really stoked on this chair. And so
I'm already gonna buy it.
Yeah, I'm glad that it's awesome.
So I said, thank you. What's the address to pick it up? My name is Tiffany. And he gave me the cross streets, and he said when I was on my way out, he would give me the address.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, okay, I'll plan to be there around 11:30. And then he said, will that work? Call me now if you want. And I'm like, so I didn't call him. And I was like, this is weird. So I just said, yes, that works. I'll message tomorrow when I'm on my way. And he said, period, okay, Tiffany, with only eyes, like my name, Tiffany.
Okay.
That's awesome.
And told me the cross streets again. And so then the next day, it was like 11 o'clock, and I left my house because I knew generally where I was going. And then I asked for the address and told him I was headed there, and he didn't respond. I waited till I was like 5 minutes away, and then I called the number, and he picks up. He's like, hello? And I was like, hi, this is Tiffany. He's like, hello? Hello? And I'm like, yes. Hi, this is Tiffany. I'm coming to pick up the chair. And he goes, oh, you're going to pick it up? You're going to lift it up over your head, are you? What? I was just like, can you give me the address? And so then he goes, all right, so type this into your phone. 972
Classified.
Street. And then he goes, wait, now don't hang up. When you get to that address, don't go into the house. You're going to turn around and go down this back alley behind, and you'll see a white van with a black ladder strapped on top.
With a black
and the chair will be around the corner from that. And I'm like,
what the heck?
I'm gonna die.
I was like 4 minutes away, so I'm like, okay, I'll be there in a few minutes. So I'm just like, said a quick prayer. I'm like, okay, God protect me.
Do you have like mace or anything?
I actually don't.
Yeah, you should get that. If you're gonna do this.
So I get to the address and I see the house and I'm like, oh, there's the alley. The alley wasn't as like creepy as it sounded. It was more like this alleyway of like the backs of all these garages.
Yeah, like a normal alley.
Yeah.
Normal alley. It's not a creepy alley.
Yeah.
It's like
bugged alley.
But when he says like, oh, just meet me in this back alley of this van, and I'm like, what? This is sounding really creepy.
Yeah.
So then I see the van and I'm like, okay. So I pull around and then parked and start to get out of the car, and he's like, no, get back in. You can't block the alley. People come zooming through here. You have to get closer. And I'm like, okay. And so then he has this easy up set up. He starts rolling it back.
He's
waving
like,
me in.
come on in.
And so then I back up closer, and then I get out, and he wasn't creepy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I know. He was like, all right, let me show you everything. And for like 10 minutes, he was showing me all the levers and everything about the chair. And he was like really stoked about it. And he was like, yeah, I'm kind of bummed to like let this chair go because it's actually a really comfortable bed to like lay on.
I know.
And I'm like, oh, okay.
Ew, disinfect it.
Yeah. And then he helped me get it in the car. And so one of the handles is a little loose. Like, do you want me to put a screw in that to fix it? Or do you want me to like put some tape? What do you want me to do? And I'm like, no, I'll just take it like it is. It's fine. didn't want to like prolong.
Yeah.
Like he was just like a major talker too.
Yeah.
And then he was like, so this chair is like from the Anaheim Hospital. He's like, you would not believe what they throw out back there. And he goes, I got this like surgical chair. Do you know what that is? And I'm like, no. And then he's like telling me all about this surgical chair that he got. And I'm like, okay, I gotta go, you know.
This guy's
I guess that was it.
And that's it.